Ladies and gentlemen, as if the Zelda Ocarina of Time leaks and rumors weren't crazy enough already, well, now we have an even bigger one, at least in my opinion. I know that sounds kind of crazy, like bigger than the game. It's not bigger than the game, but I think this going along with the game turns this into something else completely. And there's going to be a special Zelda themed Switch 2 come out about the same time or at the same time as the game. What does that mean? So let's go and get right into this. So first, forgive me, obviously, I'm not well put together right now. My bed's not made, no lights on, no nothing, because I gotta get this video out pretty quickly because I need to pack for my trip to Miami in the morning. Yeah, so we're just gonna power through this one, right? But this is really interesting because it leaves me with a few questions. But first, we gotta cover the leak. And the crazy thing is, the person saying this was talking about the Ocarina of Time remake all the way back in 2024. So yeah, it's time to pay attention. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would really mean the world to me. Also follow on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep our communities growing. And let's just go ahead and get into this one. So let me think quickly. 2 or 3 days ago, we had Nate the Hate release his podcast, and he said Ocarina of Time remake coming the end of the year. Now there had been rumors for the past year or two, and I even said in my video, I couldn't remember where these rumors first started. Like, I know the rumors were there, but I couldn't remember where they started. And you know, this is what I do for a job. I'm always in the gaming news, gaming leaks universe, right? So I was like, it seems like something that's going to happen. A lot of people think it's going to happen, but I don't have any evidence of this first starting. Then after Nate the Hate released his podcast, I believe it was the same day that VGC said they heard the same thing and they're backing up what he's claiming. So then you're like, okay, Nate the Hate and VGC, as far as this gaming leaks things go, when they're saying something, it's time to pay attention. Now this is really cool because I like Ocarina of Time. I've beat it, I'm not even kidding, at least 10 times. I never played the 3DS version, but I know that is the definitive way to play. So for me, you know, if it was just the 3DS version, like remastered or tweaked a little bit, that would be exciting for me. But then I have to remember, well, they have the 3DS version already, and millions of people play that. So if they just tweak that a little bit, it doesn't really have any power, I guess, moving the needle. Like, it's a new Zelda game, but is it a real remake, right? So one way you can gauge if it's a real remake is the budget. Now, I don't think budgets ever really come out for Nintendo games. There's a couple rumors, like Mario Kart World was $100 million, and you know, there's rumors or theories about stuff. But if a game like the Ocarina of Time remake has a massive budget, then it's probably a ground-up remake. And the game it's probably going to be compared to, at least until we see it come out, is the Final Fantasy VII remake. You know, that was the theory forever, right? Like, Nintendo and PlayStation are taking their biggest games from the 90s, the cult classics, remaking them for a new generation and the people who played it originally. So that would make sense if it's a ground-up remake like that. Now we have a leak for the Zelda themed Switch 2, but it also talks about the budget all the way back in 2024. So all the way back in December 28th of 2024, Special Nick said, man, I want that Ocarina of Time remake so bad. I got a DM a while back that it's got a pretty big budget. So you're like, okay, pretty big budget, definitely a ground-up remake. And then he's replying to his own tweet, I believe that's what this is, and he says, as a follow-up to the below, from what I've been told, we're getting a Zelda-themed limited edition Switch 2 console. Not sure if the game will be bundled or not. Now this is amazing because this will be the first special themed Switch 2. I didn't get the Switch OLED, the Zelda themed Switch OLED. I do have the Zelda themed Switch Lite, and it's actually my favorite Switch Lite that ever released, right? It's all gold with the Triforce on the front, and I think the Hyrule emblem on the back or something. Actually haven't picked it up in a few months, but it's great. The Switch OLED, not a big fan of it. I even got like fake Zelda themed Joy-Cons that I thought looked better than the Switch OLED. Now I did really like the Skyward Sword Joy-Cons that we got for the Switch, but I accidentally, I was trying to like customize my my Switch, and I bought those transparent Joy-Cons, and I'm like, look, I fixed my own thumbstick before, like it had drift. I fixed it by myself watching a YouTube tutorial. How hard could this be? And then within like 3 minutes, I had obliterated my Joy-Con. It looked like a nuclear bomb went off. So yeah, and then I think I sold the other one or something. So I'm actually very bummed that I did that. But Skyward Sword Joy-Cons I liked. Switch Lite I liked. Switch OLED, it's not bad, but I just thought they could have did so many things better. So when you're thinking about a Zelda themed Switch 2, and then we have an Ocarina of Time remake, I could see us getting like a green console. That's the only color I think of when I think of Ocarina of Time because of Link's tunic. Maybe it will be gold again, and then that would be kind of cool. So, you know, that's a question, right? Like, what is it going to look like? Another question I have is, will this be the version 2 Switch 2, right? Maybe with a little bit of a better battery, or maybe this might even be the European model that has a removable battery, and then the Joy-Cons will be even easier to fix or something. Or we can go out on a limb here, and it's a pretty thin limb, so it's probably not going to be the case. An OLED model, you know, that would be kind of cool, but I don't know if they would do that. They'll probably just release a white Nintendo Switch 2, and that will be the OLED model, and that probably won't happen until like 2027, early 2028 if I had to guess. Now another question I have, and sometimes when you first think of this, you're like, no, Nintendo is not going to do that. Is the game going to be bundled with a Switch 2? Because there's an argument for both sides, right? Mario Kart World, that had the game bundled. There's also the Pokemon ZA bundle, and during the Switch's life, there was quite a bit of bundles, like the Animal Crossing bundle. I think the red Nintendo Switch, which was like the Mario Switch, had Mario Odyssey bundled, and I'm sure there's a few others that I'm missing. But then, also, if we just go back to the Zelda bundles, like the Zelda Switch Lite and the Zelda Switch OLED, neither one of those games had a bundle, so you can make an argument for both sides. Now another thing I'm thinking right now, this is actually crazy. The Nintendo Switch 2 is inevitably getting a price hike. It just seems like it's going to happen. What Nintendo could do is release the Zelda themed Switch 2, and that's $500 straight out the gate. Hopefully it would include a game at that price, but if it didn't, it's a premium product. It's a Zelda themed whatever, $500. You don't want to hear it, but it's still going to sell out. And then at the same time, Nintendo quietly just changes the price of the regular Switch to $500. So there's a lot of questions right here. You know, it's cool that this is going to happen. I'm in no financial spot to be able to just spend $500 on a console I already have. Maybe this is something that I can pay off little by little, because it's something I definitely want. Zelda's my favorite franchise of all time. You know, time will tell on this. If I had to guess, June, when we get that first party direct, they're going to show off the Ocarina of Time remake. They'll probably say like more information at a later date, and then I'm sure we'll get Zelda themed directs, and then, you know, this will move us into the movie coming next year. So this is very exciting stuff. I think this would arguably be one of the best games I've ever played when it does come out. Some people are thinking they're going to use the Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild engine, and I want to slap those people, because no, hell no, that's not going to happen. Not even remotely going to happen. I don't even know if like the main Zelda team will be working on this. I could see somebody else working on this. Why the main Zelda team is working on the next big Zelda game, which is probably going to come in 2028 if I had to guess. So time will tell on all this, man, but this is very exciting stuff, and it's so crazy to see like this weird rumor that was going around forever. And it's one of those rumors that you think, yeah, that sounds too good to be true, is actually true. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. I just realized my camera is like this, right? Yeah, it was like this the whole time. Bro, we're just thugging it out here. So thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. And if you made it all the way to this part of the video, if you could do me a favor, hit a like and subscribe. Follow on Instagram and Twitter. Consider becoming a channel member. We actually only need one more channel member, and we'll have 15 now. So consider becoming a channel member. And you guys know me. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.